All right, so this week we watched the newly highly anticipated movie from all senses of the word, all marketing and whatnot, and a lot of the what's it called? The publicity that it got, a lot of publicity that it got, good and bad. Don't Worry Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde, starring Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, to name a few. And here's a little synopsis for you. In the 1950s, Alice and Jack live in the idealized community of Victory, an experimental company town that houses the men who work on a top secret project. While the husbands toil away, the wives get to enjoy the beauty, luxury, and debauchery of their seemingly perfect paradise. However, when cracks in her idyllic life begin to appear, exposing flashes of something sinister lurking below the surface, Alice can't help but question exactly what she's doing in Victory. All right, Anthony, you wanted to start, so we're going to start with you.
Okay, I'll start out by saying
Non spoiler.
Florence Pugh, bro, she gets me every time. Every time.
She's got the range,
That's
dude.
it. That's the review.
Every movie
That's the review.
every
No,
movie
no.
she's been in, she's been a standout.
I don't think he's
Look.
talking about the acting.
Yeah, yeah. No, she acts really good too. Don't get me wrong.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
He's talking about the sex scenes.
Oh my
there was
gosh.
a sex scene.
What?
Okay.
He's like, oh, I missed that one. I need to go rewatch it. Oh my gosh.
Wait, there was other scenes. Anyway, she's one of my
She's
future
down
wives.
bad. Anyways,
me giving her credit, Anthony being down bad.
No, okay, but truly, she fucking killed this role. I feel like she didn't carry the movie because the movie, held its own right, but she did amazing. And I just think really everything about this movie, from the story, like the plot, from the visuals, from the music, from the acting, like everything was just A+ for me. I didn't have personally like any cons in this movie.
what the fuck?
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Man, this is gonna be a long
No,
one.
don't say that, my man.
This is gonna be a long one.
Oh, y'all
shit.
disagree.
I fucking
Yeah.
hated this movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did not hate this movie, but I do
Correction. I hated
disagree.
the ending of this movie.
Wow.
Me too. I
Okay.
hated the ending of this movie, which we'll get into in the spoilers. But I do agree with you. The atmosphere was pretty spot on, 1950s.
Wait, look,
What's up?
let me say one thing. And now that I know
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. Beyonce had the greatest music video of all time.
what?
Rihanna Super Bowl.
Okay, so y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I was feeling major anything everywhere vibes from this movie.
I wasn't.
I
was.
disagree.
I
Go
was
ahead,
feeling it. Anyways.
You were just feeling
I
the
think
abstractness, not so much the actual quality.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I know what you were thinking of, which we
Right.
get into later. I think I know what you're talking about, but I disagree on that as well.
Okay, we'll get into it.
That's okay. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be a good argument because
All I can tell you, if you're thinking about watching this movie, they get the atmosphere down, like you said. The music's good. That's fine. Florence Pugh, and I know we've been talking about her a lot of these first 2 minutes, but I can't stress enough how much she carried this movie. Like she carried this movie, bro. Her back must be hurting.
Probably like 20 minutes in, I wrote the note, Florence Pugh can act, in all caps. Like,
Homie, I knew in Midsommar, bro. Midsommar, Little Women. I think it was Little Women.
I know her from Midsommar. I didn't know she was in Little Women or not.
I think it was Little Women. It was something. I'm sorry, I can't remember at the top of my head.
Oh, but she's been goated for the longest time.
Yeah,
all I know is she's one of my future wives after this movie. So
one of them.
Yeah, I have 3 now,
including Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
No. He's just chill.
He's a side hoe.
Damn. Dang! What a
Anthony spitting
pimp!
game over here.
What a pimp! No, but
Imagine side hoeing Ryan Reynolds.
But only it's him and Blake. They're a couple. They're a package.
they're a package like for you or what?
Yeah.
They got to fight for you.
All right. Anyways,
Anyway,
So I guess I don't want to steal too much, but the only thing I can say is you are getting a mystery. You're getting a lot of suspense. You're getting a lot of tension. You're getting that maybe not, for me personally I didn't, but maybe you're getting anxiety if you're really into this movie and you're really trying to put all the pieces together, figure out what's going on. The first two acts, they have a lot of intrigue and mystery. It does build up, like I said, it has a lot of tension and it's very slow, but in my personal opinion, what actually is going on and what the twist is, it just does not good at all. It just falls apart completely, flat on its face the last like 20 minutes of the movie.
this is like one of the recent M. Night Shyamalan movies, in not a good way.
I wouldn't say it's that bad though. I'd say M Night's worse.
I I don't know. I would say the twist was just as bad, but the storytelling before it was what kind of helped it not.
Yeah,
Well, not
that's
even
fair.
storytelling. The only pluses I can give this movie were really the acting and like the first act setup. But other than that, the pacing was pretty bad. Like it felt really, really long.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that.
And I was genuinely surprised that Harry Styles actually acted pretty well in this. I
You
didn't think
think
he did
so?
like
I
a
didn't.
terrible. I didn't think it was great. I just didn't think it was bad. Like it was better than what I expected from Harry Styles. You know?
Yeah, yeah. The media is giving him a lot, like Twitter's giving him a lot of trash, but I don't think he deserves it. He did do better than what I expected, but what you can see with him is really weird. It's like every scene he's in, he like doesn't have range. He can't change his emotion.
I was gonna
I feel
say
like
that.
on set they'd be like, okay, in this scene you need to be like really upset and crying, and he'd go into it like that, and then he won't stop like that. That's how he is the whole scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then vice versa for every other emotion. But yeah, other than that, I mean, he was all right.
It surprised me. I thought he was gonna be like booty cheeks.
Nick Kroll like genuinely made me laugh. Like he had some scenes where he'd say some random stuff, and I'd be like, "That's kind of funny."
Yeah.
So never mind.
Uh,
Sorry.
before we get
It.
into our spoilers, do y'all have any final thoughts or?
I had one more. All I had to really say was, I feel like the director thought the message was a lot more complex than it was.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
That's why. That's also another reason why the ending was disappointing, because you're like, oh my gosh, like I like these themes are like gonna show and pay off in the end or whatever, and they really don't, and you're just like,
Yeah, you're like,
all
oh my
right,
god,
yeah,
this
you're
is
like,
so
bro.
abstract. It must have like a crazy meaning.
Which is what Anthony was talking about. If you have seen everywhere, everything, everywhere. Sorry, um, they have like a lot. It's very abstract imagery, and that shows in the movie. But like, I feel like it's only doing that to be artsy.
It doesn't have like any
There's
like
no like
actual
meaning. Yeah,
emotional tie-ins. It's just like
yeah,
there to be there.
yeah.
It's like
But
the cinematographer got paid way too much money, and they're like, "Shit, we did not just pay him all that money to not use this. Let's just throw it in there."
all right, use my video. But
Okay. What
other than
would
that,
y'all
y'all
recommend?
recommend? Yeah, would y'all recommend?
No,
I
I think the ending makes it a waste of time.
I would only recommend if you like really love Florence Pugh, but other than that, probably not. Yeah.
I would recommend 100%. Even if you don't love Florence Pugh, because after this movie you will.
Anthony's trying to get people to waste 2 hours of their fucking lives.
Okay. That one. Continue.
That's so funny. But yeah, so go check it out or don't. Like if you value what we're saying, but this
I,
is all
I think you
subjective
should.
and this is our
Don't,
opinions.
don't listen to them. You should.
But
Two out of three hooligans do not recommend.
I was on I was more neutral though. What? I'm more like if you want to watch Florence Pugh like give him acting master class, then go ahead. It's a great performance. But thanks
Had
for
to give a
watching
great
because we're gonna go
performance with a
into
shitty
spoiler.
script.
We're gonna go into spoilers, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see y'all next week for the movie that we'll watch next week, whatever it is. You'll find out soon. And make sure you follow us on all socials. If you're on YouTube or any other podcast platform, it should be in the description. And check out the merch store. We still got some sales going up. What do we have up right now, joggers?
We got some joggers, and we got a new rain jacket, and we got some brand new shorts, and we got the hoodie that Anthony's wearing right now.
Show it off, Anthony. Show it off. Come on, baby.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, baby, that's what's up.
that's
But
very
other than
comfortable.
that,
To
we'll see
mention,
you
we got
later.
dad hats, everything except for socks and shoes, but I guarantee those will probably come down the line.
We'll figure it out. Make sure you
Be
grab
all
your
dripped
hats.
out.
Grab your hats
Okay.
for fall. And say it, Mom, for us. We'll see you later.
Oh,
All
finally. God,
right.
I'm so
Spoiler
happy I can
review.
talk
Right,
about the
right,
scene
right.
where Harry
Spoiler
Styles
review.
took the needle in his eyeball like Brightburn.
Oh, okay.
Guys, we're in
I,
spoilers now. So wait, hold on. Let's start off with the laugh. We're in spoilers now, so I can talk about this. The scene where Harry's like slumped over his computer, like with his little glasses and his slick back hair. I was reading I was reading on Letterboxd about it after the movie because I wanted to see what people said. And what was it? One of them was like, because they always make me laugh. And one of them was like, "Damn, that bro probably subscribes to r/incels."
Bro.
And someone said, "Damn, that dude must be a Discord mod or something."
I'm
damn.
be real. It took me a couple of seconds to realize it was Harry Styles. At first, I thought it was Alexander Skarsgård, and I was like, "Wait a
Uh,
minute,
that's
that's
funny.
Harry fucking Styles."
That's funny. Okay, now we'll get into big
If they
spoilers.
could have gotten
I think
Alexander Skarsgård, that would have been
a
a way
little
better,
laugh.
way better casting choice than Harry Styles.
Anthony
Um,
has something to say.
I don't think y'all have too many pros, so I want y'all to go first on pros, and then I guess I want to go after that.
Okay.
Or
Um,
are we doing cons first?
I thought we do cons first, right?
Cons first.
Yeah, we do cons first. So Anthony, you go.
Yeah, why don't you say your cons since you don't have a lot
I don't have any.
at all? Not one.
Might be.
You didn't think it was slow or anything?
I thought the pacing was incredible. So
I thought the pacing was very back and forth.
Pacing was dog shit.
I'd say the first act was okay. Second half was getting a little unnerving. Third act was completely off the rails.
The first act was pretty good. The second act literally could have been cut down to maybe like 20 minutes, and we could have saved like 45 minutes total off of this movie and only had it been like an hour and a half, an hour 50.
You see, I wanted to say that. I wanted to say it could have been cut down, but I really wasn't too sure. I was like, well, maybe this scene might be
I,
okay, but
I don't think we needed to see so much like little monotonous shit. Like a
like what?
couple scenes of weird shit happening,
Like
and it
what?
would have been enough. What do you mean?
Like
Like what?
give specific examples.
Like the first 45 minutes was her going through the same routine like 4 days in a row
Right.
with like maybe like the smallest bit of weird shit happening sprinkled in between. It was like watching The Sims for like the first week.
Okay. Well, I'll get in that. I'm gonna disagree with you, but I'll get into it in my pros.
Like I get that we maybe see like 1 or 2 days for world building purposes, and then like one day of it being really weird. Like 2 days would be the first act, and then the second act would start where she goes to the HQ, and then that shit happens in the second act. But the thing was, in the second act, after she sees the HQ, it really didn't pick up from there. It was literally just more of the same shit that we saw in the first act, but with like every now and then there would be something different. It was like playing an RPG game that makes you want to spend money. That way you can get past all the pointless shit.
yeah, this is a weird thing to add on. But is it just me or? And like I said, the suspense in the first tracks were good, but me personally, I really wasn't into it too much.
No, I think they did a
Like I
really
was
good job.
interested, but
like I want to say like the first act they did a phenomenal job of setting up this like really creepy vibes. Like you could tell something was off. Like it
It's
felt
too
like
perfect.
Matrix esque. Like you
Yeah,
could tell stuff was wrong. There was like visually like they were showing you stuff that was going wrong, and I feel like that was great. But they just did that too many times in a row with not enough change to make it feel like a faster pace. Like it feels like it literally just took too long for them to get to the point.
it
Like
kind of
there's
made yeah, it
suspense,
kind of made me
but
feel
they
like I
like
don't
held
really
on
care
to it a little
anymore.
too long.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, but I want to hold off on talking about the ending, and but I do want to say like go back into I already talked about the artsy thing, but like going back to like Chris Pine's character, for example.
Dude, he was
I,
wasted so bad.
I thought he was like going into him, like first finding him, finding out about him, his introduction. I thought he was like an interesting character, but like all his mystery like was not really developed, or it didn't really unveil anything new about him, even in the end. So I was just like kind of there, like, oh, he was there. That's really it. He was there.
He had so much wasted potential for him to be like this huge like shadow figure, like puppet stirring puller, like just
I
maniacally
could
working
agree
in the
with that.
background.
Yeah. They could have done
And
more.
they just did nothing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan of her realizing in the end, her realizing things because of the music. I wasn't a fan of that. And then all I really have to say, I didn't think the ending was satisfying, but all I really have to say left that's not ending related is I walked away with way more questions than answers we got, and I don't think this could be a sequel.
My issue was that the not that we left with so many questions because I like movies that leave us asking questions, but the issue with this one is the questions that you're left wondering are like questions about like, well, if this happened, then this must be a plot hole because that makes no fucking sense with
Yep.
what
Yeah, I
this
agree.
happened.
Yep, that's what I meant. Yep.
Give certain examples for that.
We'll do it in when we talk about the ending.
Yeah, I want to save the ending for like a section after this because my biggest flaw, and I will never forgive this movie, is for the twist that it gives you.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I want. Let's go into pros then.
Yep, we'll start with you.
No, I'm
Me?
going last on pros.
But why? You didn't talk in cons though, so I think you should talk in pros.
I know, but just I want to get y'all's out of the way because I'm gonna talk a lot, probably.
Okay. The whole I already said the whole act two acts thing, but the I guess the theme I understood the theme of like men are very manipulative and controlling even to this day. Like in the 1950s, of course it was bad enough, but like they really think they know what's best for women is what I took out of it. But like that whole overarching um like that was the only really like good theme I could see out of it. Being like I wish they would have like done so much more with the ending to push that narrative into I can't say that, or I guess I could, into the real world with the whole ending
Yeah.
thing. But like they really didn't do anything else with it. But I did like it. I liked the message she was sending, but it was just
Um,
very like one sided kind of thing.
I really enjoyed the cinematography in this. Like, it was really beautifully shot. Again, I love movies whenever they're not afraid to show the vibrant colors on screen. I
Mhm.
hate when movies just like, well, let's dull the colors out. You know, it looks a little too happy. You know, like
The
it just
Batman.
kind of helped
No.
made it feel unsettling. Um, and I don't know about y'all, but I really liked the seclusion feeling. Like it made it feel like I was watching a Nuketown documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did feel like that.
it's good. It's a good comparison. It was very it was weird when seeing like when she went up to the canyon and seeing like the
Just
whole
barren.
yeah, the view just barren, yeah, in the desert. Like what the heck? It was weird.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. All right, Anthony.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So okay, I'm gonna start from the
Wrong.
very beginning of the movie. The suspense
Fuck.
drew me in from the first minute. Okay, I didn't know what was going on. Like when things started going wrong, like my mind was automatically like, okay, something's off. Like what's happening? What's happening? And it would give you a little bit more at a time. It would give you like, oh, here's a little more information to try to piece it together. And then you try, and then you don't understand it. Throughout the entire movie, you still didn't understand what was going on until the end, but in a good way because it's like, it to me, it like drew me in. I'm like, all I need is to understand what's happening. And it would like tease you. Like it would not it because it didn't tell you, that's what like drew me in. And I love the whole like the whole suspense value. You know what I mean? I thought
Yeah.
just
See,
like
and I agree. It just like if they would have it, they did it so much to the point where it was just kind of annoying, and I checked out.
no
Like maybe
no
if they did
like
it, like I
to
said earlier,
me,
like 20 minutes sooner, then it would have been perfect.
no, I disagree. I don't in any way think they did it too much because okay, for example, you kind of said once she made it to headquarters and they redid everything again. It was like, okay, you found out this huge piece of knowledge and then you go back to like nothing. Now you're just like left with that feeling of like what was that? I need to figure it out. And you're back here to square one and you're like, okay, what's going on? Now I know something's there. And like it every single time it did that, it reeled me in like more and more. And I became like more interested like every time. And
See,
then
and that would have worked if it didn't like
it did
if
work.
let's say like once she
It did
got
work.
to there, the oddities like were something different than what she had seen before. Like if it was
But
it's
they
like if
were.
like once she interacted with it, it was like more than just visions or like just random hallucinations like she was getting before, then I would have been more compelled because it would have been
It
like a
was though,
variation.
because in the beginning, it was her seeing the plane, right? It was her feeling off, like feeling weird. Then it was the vision in the mirror, okay? And then it was the neighbor slitting her throat, and then the neighbor being fine, you know. And then it became like more like realistic, like the neighbor, for example. Like everything was like different and escalating the whole time. It wasn't like oh, she sees a monster every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not like she resaw it, kept seeing, re-seeing the same vision. Like she kept seeing something different, and every time she saw something different, it was weirder and weirder.
What I'm saying is like it wasn't different enough. Like if you look at it as a staircase,
I think it
this
was.
movie was like a staircase that takes you up 10 foot but with 80 steps versus a staircase that would take you up 10 feet with 10 steps. One is a lot smoother. You take regular strides, it feels good. But this movie, it had so many little steps. It was like, holy shit, do I really have to touch every single one of these?
We can just agree to disagree because again, that's what glued me is because using your staircase analogy, if you just went like from here to here, that's what I expect. But the fact that it was so steep and almost like slow in a sense, it's like what is going on? It's still not giving this information. I need to know. It's like it's teasing you. So when you finally get to the top, when you finally figure out the twist, the whole movie pays off
You're
because
like,
you've been
damn, that
waiting.
was the stupidest twist on the fucking planet.
That was a very good twist in my opinion. But
It
anyway,
let's see.
moving on.
It pays off for
Go ahead.
some. It doesn't pay off for others. That's all I gotta say.
That's fair. It paid off very well
It'll
for me.
split. It'll
But
split
moving on
people.
from like um the music was like it was out of this world because the music was like so suspenseful and it matched the tone of the scenes like perfectly in my opinion. And I love that. Okay, and then the other thing
Pause.
is like the artistic vibe of like the dancers. Like the dancers it was like symbolic like throughout the whole movie. You didn't know what it meant, you know, but they kept forming the eye, and then at the headquarters there's the eye, and then the dancers ended up being people inside the town. It was like all symbolic and it was like artistic and it was just beautiful. You know what I mean?
What was it symbolic for, though?
He just
It
said it.
was like
for an eye, but what did the eye represent? Because the eye really didn't represent anything
I think
meaningful. The
it
eye was literally just the lab test.
the eye was like representing like that's what that was the connection between the real life and this fake life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I took from it. Yeah, because
Because
her
Yeah,
like
eyes
but
were open. Her eyes were open the whole time, and she kept having those hallucinations. Kind of like telling you to wake up.
well, see,
right,
and that would be more meaningful if like if the twist was actually like if the twist had some emotion behind it. If it
I
wasn't
don't know
just like
what y'all. I guess we'll go into this here in a second, but I don't understand why y'all didn't like the twist. I thought it was very unique, and well, we can go into this because I feel like I'm just rambling on at this point.
I'll tell
But
you. I'll tell you why I didn't think it was unique. Whenever you're ready.
okay, so go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Well, for one, it was okay. This is kind of funny story,
break it
kind of.
down sexual style.
The middle of the movie, you're seeing more of that eye stuff, and you're seeing all the weird, like I said, things are a little too perfect in the world. And I literally said next to my buddy, and I'm like, haha, life's a simulation, bro. And the fact that that's
Dog.
actually what happened is what made me like be like, nah, dude, like this can't be real. Like it's
Wait, why?
actually a simulation.
Elaborate on that because I don't understand that
Well, because
because you said it as a joke.
no, with that kind of
It was just
that
so
shows.
predictable.
Yeah, I was gonna say that shows that it's predictable, and two, it just shows how like you say it's original, but it's just kind of like
If you want
uncreative.
to
All they're
if you
saying
want
it's
to
like
see
go
if
ahead.
you want to see the original idea of this, just go watch The Matrix. The
Yeah,
Matrix did every bit of this movie 10 times better.
or it's like when you read a book and then the book ends with and then I woke up or something like that. It's like
Dude, that's exactly
what?
what the fuck this reminded me of.
What?
I
It's
guess
like it's
yeah.
not very
I mean,
satisfying to
I
me.
can understand that. That I guess in that way it's not unique, but I still think the reason behind it, like the reason why he did it, was unique. You know what I
It
mean?
was dumb as shit.
I
Why?
do want to
Like,
get into
how-
reasons why he did it because I had a lot of questions about that.
I
okay,
get it was to like boost his ego and get
I get
into a
that.
world
Yeah,
where he felt good, but that
he
just
felt he had control.
one. How the fuck did he like get her over there to begin with? Two, how the fuck is no one looking for all these people?
Yep, those are some questions I
And
had.
three, like if there was stuff like wrong with her simulation and the other girl's simulation, like what made their simulations break versus the other people? Other than just like some fucking end game rat that just happened to like fuck with something wrong. And they don't
I'll,
even
I
explain that. It's just for no reason her shit just doesn't work.
Also, the ending when Frank got killed by the girl. Well, now what? Now what are they gonna do? That and
Yeah.
then also Frank's character, like I said, was like there was intrigue to him at first, but then they didn't do anything with him. They killed him off, and now we don't get to know what the whole program in real life is at all. We don't get to know like why he's doing it, what the whole message of the program is, why they're trying to control these women or like have a better life, quote unquote. All we can assume is that all the other husbands and men are just like Jack's character.
Kidnappers. Yeah.
Yeah, and are just that's what I was saying too. I was saying, so are they all is there like a trafficking ring? Like is it a big trafficking ring for these women? Like cuz I'm sure some of those women aren't their actual girlfriends in real life. I'm sure some of them are using it like
Yeah.
maliciously.
yeah, I could see that.
It's a whole it's a
A
really
lot of
it's a strange rabbit hole that they don't explain. And that's I don't know.
It's
That's all I
just
got to
like it killed
say
the
right now.
momentum too. Like it was like this huge old build up and then she's like and then I woke up.
I don't know.
Like
I've
who
told
were the
Noah
who
this.
Go ahead, sorry.
I've told Noah this on a few different occasions, but I fall for movie tropes very heavily. Like when a movie wants you to think or feel a certain way, I very much think and feel that certain way. And so even if the fact that it was predictable, that it was a simulation, when it was I like okay, like when they told us that it was a simulation, I
Homie
was
such a
still like,
gullible.
"What? Like, no way. Like, I thought it was a huge twist, and I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Anthony's the audience reviewers Netflix uses to clear their movies.
it's less about it being predictable, and it's more about like how they do it. Like, I could watch 4 movies in a row, all be like simulation movies. I know what's gonna happen, but each and every one, I'm gonna be surprised when they introduce it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's a predictable type of play, I guess. It's
Mm-hmm.
just
See, and I
because it
wouldn't mind.
moves on how they build it up.
See, and I wouldn't mind that it was predictable, but it was just bad. Like the explanation was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
like
I
I
think if they took less time in the second act, made it shorter, made the third act a little bit longer, it would have been a really good one-off movie. Because then you
yeah,
wouldn't have had to do sequels explaining it. You would have you wouldn't have had bad pacing issues. You would have had everything like an entire story completed start to finish.
that's
I
fair.
think I think they're leaving it up to interpretation. I really don't think there's going to be a sequel, which is bad because there's so much explaining that they have to do, and since it's at the very end of the movie, that's why you were saying earlier it's 2 hours of like nothing really. Because since they don't dive into the world more in the end, you don't really and you don't end up leaving the theater caring about the movie because
It's like
they introduce this whole ploy, this kind of interesting plot line, but they don't do anything with it. They don't explain, dive into it at all, which is just misleading.
I think it would have
That's fair.
been interesting for her to figure out it was a simulation and then spend maybe like 15 minutes trying to break out of it before she figures out how to, and then go on from there rather than just being teased the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, but I had another question too. So when that girl killed herself, Margaret, I think is her name, or Miranda or something, does she die in real life?
Yeah.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
Basically, that's the role. That's so weird though. She had a knife. But I don't know. I don't
Also,
see. We
I
don't even
don't
know how that
know.
works. That's weird.
I had another question too. Why did all of the women in the end just decide like, oh yeah, like the main guy's wife and that other girl that knew, they both chose to be in that world. They wanted to be in that world, but then last minute they're like, no, it's okay. You can just destroy it. Just run away. Like, it's okay. I'll help you out this time.
Well, she
Like,
won.
you, I don't know.
Well, you can escape. I don't think it jeopardizes them being in the world. Like that whole portal that Florence goes through. Like that's the only escape is what they kind of alluded to. So they can't escape even if they help. They'll just be rehabilitated.
Right.
Is what I'm
Yeah.
guessing from that. But yeah, life's a simulation, guys.
Not the fun Matrix kind, the shitty, boring kind.
Wild.
I'm
I was
telling
just
you, this was like the Matrix if you downgraded every part of it.
some will like
I'm
it,
very
some won't.
excited to hear what y'all rated.
What we rate it?
Yeah.
Fun
You ain't
fact: this
ready.
movie was written by 3 different writers, and it definitely shows.
You ain't
Is it
ready for
really?
this.
Yeah,
Dang. This is gonna be the most diverse rating. I
Okay,
want
you
to
go
hear.
first, then, Anthony.
no, you're high on life, Anthony. Come on.
Okay, coming into the
If you
podcast. Coming into the podcast, I was gonna give it a 10, but
Damn,
we've talked
that's
about it,
crazy.
and I, I don't think I can go lower than a 9.
Okay,
So I'm gonna go with 9.
it's all subjective, bro. It's all your opinion. Let me write this down. Or Edward, while I write this.
well, since 2/3 of the movie is good, I'll give it its 1/3 back, and I'm dropping a 3 on it.
Oh my
You'll give it its one
gosh!
third back. Damn, that's funny. I was actually going to give it a 4 because
Wow,
I
that's
I did
crazy.
enjoy. There are always enjoyable aspects. It's more so the ending and how it culminated is what really drops the ball for it.
It's like when you turn in your homework, but you don't do the back of the page.
Oh, my bad, bro. But that is. Let's see. Drum roll, please. That is an average of a 5.3, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Which
funny.
you'll see
Okay, what was
on
y'all's
Wikipedia.
pre?
Pre?
Hmm?
Like pre-rating?
What was y'all's
A 3.
pre-rating?
Pre-pod rating?
A 3.
Edward was validated. I gave it a 5.5 coming out. So
And
I
now you're
dropped
giving it a what?
a 4.
Wow.
I'm dropping it a point and a half.
I came in with the 3 in mind, and I left with the 3 in mind. Nothing was said that changed my mind.
Florence can do a victory lap, bro, because even though this movie wasn't that great to us,
The 4 was for
she
her.
did great. Yeah, she
Stick
did great.
any other scrub there, and this movie is getting a 1.
You know what's funny? If they had just, I would have much rather have seen really any other great actor than Harry Styles. It's not a knock on him. It's more so like I just feel like if the chemistry was there too,
that
it would have been
role had to
much
have
more enjoyable.
that role had to have been written for Alexander Skarsgård. That's like been every role he's played recently.
Remember, Harry Styles is dating the director too.
Like, fuck Harry Styles.
But
Yes.
you want to close this out, Anthony or Edward? Sorry.
Yo,
That's Anthony's.
Oh, yes,
Goodbye.
Anthony. Sorry. Bye. Same thing. Just all quick. Same thing. Side your mom for us later.